We're going to be doing the out of bounds assignment, so you need to first decide on which photo you want to use. You can use one of your own photos, or you can find one on Unsplash. I have linked it right here for you to find a good high resolution photo. You need to, one, put your photo in Photoshop. So I'm going to be doing one of my photos of Dewey. But just so you guys know, the end goal, end game for what we're trying to do with this tutorial is we're going to be taking our subject and we're going to be having part of it be out of the bound of this photograph. So when you are selecting your photograph, you want to be thinking about, okay, what do I want to have in the photo? And then what do I want to have outside of the photo as well too. Okay, but I'm going to go and start the tutorial on my photo. So I'm going to decide, one, what do I want to be in the photograph? So I definitely want this like portrait of Dewey with his little crooked bow tie right there. So to select that area, we're going to use the rectangular marquee tool to draw what we want to be in the photo. And I'm thinking as well, what do I want to be out of bounds of the photo? And I know I want his ears and his hat to be the part of out of bounds. So I'm going to draw my photo, my bound of what I want to be in the photograph. So I'm going to take that part. I've selected it. Now I'm going to copy and paste that, and it's in a rectangular format. Okay, watch your layers, but we need to drop down back to our bottom layer, and then we need to select what we want to be out of bound as well. So I'm going to zoom in one so my computer has an easier time of finding my selection. And then I'm going to cheat, not really cheat, but use the computer to do the hard work for me and using object selection tool. Hopefully it can read what I want for it. Otherwise, if it doesn't read, you just draw a square around what you want it to select, which did a pretty good job, minus I want the little palm of the top of his hat. So I'm going to switch to my quick selection and add to it by holding shift, which good if you need to clean up your selection, which I do. Hold alt to get a negative, and I'm going to clean that up. We do want to make sure our selection is good before we copy and paste, and it's having a hard time with my number one. So I'm just going to zoom in, add to it. Let's see if it can read it. Let's make my brush smaller right there. It's tedious with your selection, but if you take your time and do it well in this beginning stage, it's easier to clean up later on. Just gonna check that. That looks good. So copy, paste. So I have 3 layers currently. One of them, the Dewey, and I'm gonna slide that one up top. So Dewey's little face is on the top layer. The rectangular marquee selection, the photo is down below. We already have an out of bound currently, but we're going to make it look kind of like a picture. Okay. So one, I'm done with this background layer, so you can delete it. Yes. But we do need a layer for our background. And I do want to crop mine in a little bit. I don't like how big this is, so I'm going to crop this down so it's just a little bit better of a composition. Okay, I'm just going to unview this top layer so you guys can see what is happening. So in my middle layer, I'm going to go to my effects in my layers panel and find where it says stroke. And you guys, generally your window shows up right here. Slide it out of the way so you can view it. And then yours will generally be black. So go in, click it, and change that to be white so it looks like a printed photo. And you can change the size right here of what you think is the best like outside border range for your photo. I'm also going to drop down and add a drop shadow. You can control the opacity of your shadow, how like dark you want it to be, the angle of it, where you want the 3Dness to be, how much spread. how soft is it. You usually want to kind of look to see how that looks. The spread kind of looks grainy to me. And then the size of how far it goes out, which I like that. So I'm going to push OK. And then I'm going to still view Dewey's top. And I'm going to add a drop shadow to his ears as well, just for the effect. And it will automatically keep the same angle. And I'm just going to adjust this so it's not as far. I don't want as much distance for that one. And let's unview it and see if it looks better. I'm just going to change the angle. Oops. Nope. I'm going to not do it. I don't like the view of it because I don't like the shadow that creates underneath it. So I'll make a shadow if I really want one. Okay. So we currently have our subject out of bounds. If you want to play with the shadow of it, you totally can. I didn't like mine because of the shadow on his little beard area. So drop down to the very bottom layer, and we're going to add a background. And I'm just going to add a gradient just for an easy one. So your gradient tool is in your tools panel. It's about halfway down. It looks like a gradient, hence the name. And up top right here, you can control your gradient. So I'm going to change mine to be a radial going out from the middle. And then you have different colors that you can pick from. So I had a purple one selected. I'm going to find a green one just because he's wearing green of something that I like. Greenish vibe. I like the green and blue. Let's go that one. These are like my two favorite colors. So then you just draw where you want it to be and control your gradient, which I like that. That looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to go and just add a shadow. And paint it underneath. So I'm just going to go in because I want the effect of it. I'm just going to go, actually I'll just go and burn it underneath it a little bit. So we'll do our mid-tones and just control the exposure a little bit. Actually, let's merge these two layers down. There we go. Just to get the effect a little bit more real. Just gotta stop right there. Boom. Boom. For his ears. See how that looks. A little bit maybe darker. Right there. A little bit lighter. Just a lot of like trying things out and undoing. Okay, so that I like. That is Dewey Out of Bounds. You can use one of your photos or one of the photos on Unsplash, and then you just file, save it as a Photoshop PDF, and submit it. Done.